Hey there, YouTube. Looks like we are live. So thanks for tuning in. It's breakfast time. You want to see what a real cyclist has for breakfast? All right. Well, we'll fill you in. We'll fill you in. And so, firstly, the first thing we always have for breakfast, we cyclists, is vodka. Super good first thing in the morning. You gotta start out with a couple 2 or 3 ounce shots of vodka. It's perfect. Oh, hey, thanks for leaving a comment, Dirk. Good morning to you as well. Anyway, first thing on the list for real is organic coffee. Yeah, that's the first thing. And pardon my dress today, as I am not in formal attire at all. In fact, I'm in my underwear. I've made sure it's safe for work. Half-cooked eggs. Yeah, that's a good one. Half-cooked eggs are good. So yeah, I would tend to agree with you there. Half-cooked eggs. I mean, cooked egg whites and liquid egg yolks, that's my thing. That's my jam. So here's the organic coffee. And we've been buying ground coffee because I really don't like grinding coffee first thing in the morning. I also don't like counting while talking because I'm pretty bad at that. And I'll just lose track and better order some more coffee because we're running low. So that's the first thing on the list is organic coffee. Organic coffee. More than one person have told us that that their jitters went away when they switched to organic coffee. So just putting it out there, folks. Just some anecdotal reports there. No medical claims, no health claims. Organic coffee, it might not make you jittery. Thanks for tuning in, all 4 of you. Please leave us comments. Tell us what you're having for breakfast, if that's relevant in any way. So I'm doing something super simple this morning for breakfast. I mean, practically too simple. That is just your basic everyday oats. And I'll show you what I'm going to put in the oats once they're done, because I'll just show you the process. It's brilliant. But let's see, we're doing half a cup of oats here. So half a cup of oats, 1 cup of water is what I need. The same ratio as if you're making rice. Half a cup. I'm going to do a little less than half a cup because that is quite a lot of oats, actually. Yeah, about a half a cup. And we'll put in like most of a cup of water. And then that's just like 1.5 minutes in the microwave or something. 2 minutes, something. Not very long. It's actually 2.5 to 3.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes is cool. I'm not even going to do any protein this morning, so I'm not going to have eggs with it. A lot of times I would have 2 eggs. A lot of times I would have 2 eggs, fried. Solid whites, liquid yolks. That's my thing. That's how a microwave works. And we're on our way. Yeah, I was thinking about trying the new protocol, but today is sort of a training day. Got to break out the time trial bike and do some detailing on it this weekend. So because the Donut Derby is coming not next Monday, but the next Monday after that, September 1st. So I'll have to do some cleaning and some lubrication, and I have to work on the crank a little bit, because the crank, there's some kind of drag on the crank or something. So right now, just changing my computer over to the time trial bike. But sometime today, maybe tomorrow, maybe during the week, I don't know. I've got to make every detail on it perfect. Dirk said he wanted to see the TT bike, so it's not very exciting, but I'll show it off anyway. Bear with me a minute while I get the road bike out of the way. So here's my Trek Hilo time trial bike. It is really, really old. It is from the year 2000. So I do have a full carbon fiber disc wheel on here. As you can see here. It is by Ren, and you have to get these things custom. They don't make them, so they'll make them for you if you're able to contact Ren. Ren Multisport, R-E-N-N is the spelling of that. And yeah, it's Shimano Ultegra. I've got Favero Asioma power meter dual pedals on there. Aero Trek carbon fork. Aerodynamic time trial frame. It is in a 650C size, so that's the same as, it's actually a 26-inch wheel, but not like your mountain bike. It's a very thin road wheel. I've only got 23 millimeter tires on here. I've got a Kenda Concept on the back, and I've got a Vittoria Rubino Pro on the front. I run like about 100 PSI. These are old school friction shifting. I mean, the bike is ancient. It's 26 years old or something like that. The aero bars are Syntace, I think they're Syntace C2s. Seat post is a zip. Saddle is a Prologo DAS. It is a time trial saddle, and this is my favorite saddle that I've ever ridden. So, highly recommend that. I may put one of those on all my bikes. So yeah, here's my spare wheel. That's my non-disc wheel that I use when I put it on the trainer and things like that. And yeah, that's the Trek Hilo 2000. And that segment of the live stream was just for you, Dirk. You wanted to know about a bike, an ancient bike. And that brings me to a very important fact. One of the things that Michael Jordan used to say that a lot of people didn't understand was, it's not the shoes, right? You ever hear Michael Jordan say that? It's not the shoes. Why did he say that? He was paid a lot of money by Nike to endorse the shoes. So why was it not the shoes? The same reason it's not the bike, okay? It's not the shoes, it's not the bike, it's the player and the rider. The rider is way more important. You could take your average rider and put them on Tadej Pogacar or Jonas Vingegaard's Tour de France time trial bike, and it's not even going to fit them right, much less go fast, you know? So occasionally when you're riding your bike, you know, you'll have kids, they'll be like, can I take your bike for a spin? And the answer is no. You can't even look at my bike the wrong way. It's not going to fit you. And even if it did, the answer would still be no. You can definitely not take my bike for a spin. Don't hurt my bike's feelings or you'll hurt mine, and then I'll be cross. But it won't be a cross bike because I don't own a cross bike and I don't do cyclocross. I know how. I choose not to. It looks extremely unpleasant to me. So, no cyclocross for me. But yeah, it's not the shoes. It's a great quote by Michael Jordan, and it's because you could put Michael Jordan in a pair of Converse and he would still win the championships. You know, it's not the bike, it's the rider. One of my teammates used to say that, and he was one of the best riders. So what do you expect, right? Yeah, so just putting you on top of the coffee maker here, it makes me look a little bit less lording above our viewers, right? It's a little bit more on the level, right? All right, so what do we have here? Brandy Tenzano says, yep. Louis1LITK says, Nika don't even know there's electric bikes now. Skull, skull, skull. Nika's still pedaling bikes. Skull, skull, skull. Dude, bring your e-bike to town and I will smoke you on a bike that I have to pedal. I will wreck you on e-bikes. They only go so fast. Once you get to a certain speed, you can watch wee fast people go up the road and you can't do anything about it, just like on a regular bike. So yeah, e-bike, believe me, I know about e-bikes. I drop people on e-bikes all the time because they don't have their settings high enough. They're heavy. I mean, you're adding a whole bunch of weight. The non-e-bike is still the most efficient means ever designed to transport humans. So, nobody's ever devised a thing more efficient than a regular old pedal bike. E-bikes don't change that. They are less efficient than a bike that you pedal. SV Thorasailing says, nut bust a saddle. Yeah, it's the exact opposite of that. The reason that there's a cutout for the center part of the saddle is because it relieves pressure on your perineal area. So it's the opposite of a nut buster saddle. It's a nut non-buster saddle. That's why everybody has cutouts in their saddles nowadays. Nobody has a plain. Almost everybody has a saddle that has a cutout in the middle of it. It's because your sit bones are off here to the sides. So the center part of your saddle isn't really doing anything besides compressing blood vessels and creating numbness and pain and discomfort. So a saddle cutout is not a nut buster. It might take a while to get used to it, but it's certainly worth it. I mean, if the maximum ride that you can do is 40 miles and you put on a saddle that allows you to ride 80 miles, that's probably a benefit. You don't like a padded bum seat. Those padded saddles, they will be less comfortable and perform worse. Nobody needs one of those giant saddles. Those giant saddles, all they do is create lots of friction. So yeah, those giant padded saddles, those are on people's bikes who don't ride their bikes for a reason. And they, chances are, if your saddle is uncomfortable, the problem is something with your bike fit. Maybe you reach too far. Maybe you're sitting too upright. Maybe your handlebars are too low, too high. Maybe you're sitting too far behind the cranks. Maybe you're too far forward, too far back. Maybe your saddle's not high enough. Maybe it's too high. There's all kinds of stuff like that. It's very unlikely that the answer is ever get a big padded saddle. Those things, people buy them and then they quit riding. They're like, I don't know, it's never comfortable. Switching to a giant saddle, your sit bones are this tiny area. They're like this big. So it's look, the human body is certainly not designed to go around at 60 miles per hour on our jump for 6 hours. That's definitely not the design. So the modern advances that allow us to do a lot of miles comfortably are fantastic. I mean, cyclists aren't dummies. We're pragmatists. We only do the stuff that works. Because if we don't, we're doing stuff that doesn't work. That doesn't work, right? Results speak for themselves. So, there are a lot of cyclists who never open their mouth at all. They just put up results and they let the chips fall where they may. So So here's my breakfast of champions. It's so simple. You're gonna love it. I mean, it's so simple. We're gonna add a little bit of extra just because I like the YouTube viewers so much. But let's see. We're gonna do cherry pineapple maple. That's cherry pineapple maple. That's today's oatmeal. So this is bland. Don't eat this by itself. It will work to fuel your day, but if you're gonna go out and like do a 2, 3, 4 hour bike ride or something like that, consume as much sugar as you want before, during, and after that, because muscle glycogen. So now I'm drooling on myself. All right, so yeah, just take your cooked oatmeal after it cools down for a couple minutes, and put a nice spoon of fruit preserves of some sort in there. So there's our pineapple, and then on the other side of the bowl, I'm gonna actually finish off my cherry preserves. Love the cherry preserves. And just so you know, folks, pineapple has anti-inflammatory properties. There's a chemical in there called bromelain, and bromelain is a powerful anti-inflammatory agent. So if you're a skateboarder and you constantly have shinners and hippers and stuff like that, try bromelain. It might seriously make a huge difference. What if you were able to skate every day instead of only every other day, right? Bromelain, it's super good. I mean, you can buy the supplements, but why not just eat pineapple? It's fantastic. All right, so we've got our cherry, we've got our pineapple. Got to get some more cherry. And then last but not least, I'm just going to put a little bit of maple syrup in there. Oh, it's so good. Maple syrup is like, it's just godly. So yeah, that's how you make your oatmeal a little bit non-boring. Oh man, that is kick-ass. And then one last thing, another consumer tip for you folks. When you're gonna go out and, like, let's say you're gonna go do a group ride, right? You want to eat carbs before the group ride. I would usually eat carbs and protein. So something like this, as well as 2 eggs, right? And then right before the ride, like 5 minutes before the ride goes off, eat a banana or an orange. But bananas are optimal. Yay! Thanks for leaving a comment. Last stand, drum and bass. Big up from the U.S. right back at you there. And in fact, I remember seeing you before, so have a wrench. Have a wrench. You're now a moderator. Just don't use it to censor anybody. Those are just status symbols on this channel. Not really to be used for moderation. We handle that ourselves. Basically, we don't moderate the chat. So yeah, 5-10 minutes before the ride goes off, eat a piece of fruit, chug a soda, chug a sugary energy drink, something like that. And then, every 30 to 40 minutes, consume 30 to 100 grams of carbs, depending on how hard you're riding, and you're good. So that is your pro tip for pre-ride foods. A lot of the top pros will eat oatmeal. I also like PBJs, so I regularly have PBJs, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and those work well too. In fact, you get some protein from the peanut butter. Now, I usually do chug in the morning as well, so I'll share that with you YouTube types while I'm here. This is actually pretty rare that I give out this much tips, but the oatmeal's still kind of hot, so I'm eating it very slowly. And oh, welcome to the world of the living, Smash Staff. You survived another night so far. Just kidding, it's already morning. Oh, that was a good one. I don't think she got it. She she didn't look amused. All right. So, and I'm even going to share what supplements I'm taking today. It's super simple. So here's my here's my supplement load for the day. Supplement load is some B complex, some A Reds, which is a vision support supplement. We cyclists have to be able to see where we're going, or it could be unfortunate. We're taking some choline and inositol, some fish oil. Don't take too many things that thin your blood, folks. That can be bad, especially if you get injured. And we'll do, that's it, actually. I was going to do some calcium. I'm going to put some MSM in my water chug. So I chug water out of this giant 32-ounce Hofbrau, and we're just putting 2 little dashes of MSM. That is, I get it in powdered form. It is methyl sulfonylmethane, and racehorses consume pounds of this stuff at a time. Yeah, they buy it in 55-gallon drums, I think. Now, in my morning chug, I'm going to let y'all know what I'm putting in there. So I told you my breakfast, I told you my supplements. What more could you want? Here are the ingredients for my morning chug, okay? Cayenne pepper. Turmeric. Some iodized salt. And last but not least, powdered beetroot. And since I'm doing a full vasodilation this morning, a full vasodilation diet, I'll also be putting cocoa powder, organic cocoa powder, into my first cup of coffee. I'll make a very small cup. Well, I'll show you. I'll show you all about it, because this stream is only 23 minutes in, and we'll probably be streaming for like another half an hour yet. So, couple teaspoons of the powdered beetroot. And if you're doing a morning chug, now's your chance to chug along. Yeah, chug along with me. So I'll just bring you over here, and then you can watch me fill up the morning chug. And what do you like to chug in the morning? Let us know in the comments. We're always interested, because you never know. You never know when you get a new routine that it's going to allow you to do something different. I'm just using refrigerator filtered water here. Sometimes I put lemon juice in this as well. Today I'm going to skip that because there's a lot going on. So there we go. There's about a 30-ounce water chug. And you just stir it up real good. There often will be chunks of red beet. Chunks of red beet powder in there. Bottoms up. If you're chugging, now's the time. Oh yes. All right, let's get our minds out of the gutter here. There we go. That's a little better. Shout out to LA Beast and Furious Pete, two champion competition eaters. And if you're a competition eater, why not join us for the Donut Derby in Trexlertown, PA on September 1st? Yeah, the Donut Derby. 36-mile bike ride where you get 3 minutes of your time subtracted for each donut eaten. Want to break the record? I think you got to eat about 55 donuts. The record is over 50. So good luck with that. Here ends my chug and just taking supplements. Just a sec, I will get out of your way momentarily. All right, so I've divulged the bike. I've divulged the breakfast. I've divulged today's supplement picks. I even divulged the pre-ride food. Something sugary, something easy to digest. A banana is a better call than an apple. Because an apple you might taste for the whole ride because the skin is actually very hard to digest. In fact, some of it is indigestible. All right, so let me get out of the way here. I'm gonna pour some coffee and I'm gonna go chill with the fishes. I'm gonna chill with the fishes before Smash Staff has me sleeping with the fishes. How's that? I don't need concrete shoes today or anything like that, so I'll just get out of her way so she can get coffee. She stormed off. Sorry about that, Smash Staff. She didn't want to be on camera. All right, so gonna get that first cup of coffee going, which is actually gonna be like cocoa because I put sugar and cocoa powder in there. And that will be a very, very, very strong cup. All right. So allow me to exit stage south. And we'll just chill with our pals. Yeah, our pals. Because you gotta have some Ricky and Bubbles. So there we go. I'll just kind of sit over here, and you've got Ricky and Bubs right over here. All right, what do we have? Let me get to your comments here. I apologize. It's taken me a minute to get to comments, so if you have any, now would be a good time to leave them, as I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom if I don't go off on a massive tangent, which I've been known to do. It is encouraged, I think. What are they watching? Are they watching SpongeBob? Ricky and Bubbles are watching TV there. You can see their smartphone. They're currently watching SpongeBob. Oh, James T. Kirk has activated. What up, James T. Kirk? He doesn't care. He's made of spikes and rocks. So, he's made of spikes and rocks. He definitely doesn't care. All right, so yeah, let me get to your comments. Again, now's a good time to leave them. And by the way, we've got 9 viewers and only 4 likes, so please press the like button. Please trouble yourself to press the like button. I know it's a lot of work. It's almost as much as using your turn signal when you're in your car or something like that. press like, and if you're new, press subscribe. Otherwise, you won't get my recipes like this. If you tuned in late, start from the beginning. Incidentally, our lives, they do stay up on the channel. We don't like take them down. I mean, some channels do take down their lives to encourage people to be at the live stream. That is true, SV Thorosailing. SV Thorosailing states, butter and a pinch of salt adds flavor. You can use any healthy oil there. Doesn't have to be butter. It could be butter, avocado oil, even like beef tallow, lard, any oil. Doesn't really matter what it is. If you add olive oil, then you're gonna get some omega-3s in there, so that doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to do a shot of olive oil in the morning. That's a good one. WDYM. I don't know what WDYM means. The Red Devil says hi. Hi. You know there's a South American cichlid called a red devil, right? You probably don't mean that. Louis One Litik says, Nika still riding bikes in 2025. Skull. Yeah. What an unpopular thing to do. Riding bikes. Who would do such a thing? Oh, the fittest people in the world? Right. Just them. Or I should say, us. Just the fittest people in the world. No big deal. Brandy Tazanos says, how to use a microwave. Step 1, get food. Step 2, put the food in the microwave. Step 3, take the food out. Brandy, you need work on this. This is not a good recipe. You need like a 2A and 2B. Because step two is lacking. Oh, and that's a very, very strong cocoa coffee with sugar. And it's nice and bitter. It just wakes you up. It says, hey bitch, it's morning time. It's morning, and here's some bitter stuff right in your face. Brandy, next time you use a microwave, after you put the food in, cook the food by turning on the microwave for an appropriate period of time for the food. Then move on to step 3. And you will be amazed at the results. The food will be heated by the microwave. SV Thorosailing says, still looks dangerous. What a weapon. You mean my time trial bike? Yeah, it's a weapon if you have somebody that's able to make it go fast. Because like I started out the video saying, it's not the bike. If you put Fabian Cancellara on that thing, he would make it go pretty fast. All right, so what comments do we have here? Michael Polly says, free Israel from Hamas. You agree? I don't know. I'm not going to weigh in. I don't know enough about the subject. Mike says, how much is a like worth to you in dollars? I mean, you could pay us $5 to press like. So yeah, just leave a $5 super chat and then press like, and we'll call it even. Mike says, Zella me. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, we're just gonna We're just going to send you cash there, bud. That's likely. All right, so do we have news stories today? Do I got to go surf the internet? What do you got? You got some news stories? Let us know. We want to know what you're thinking about. Like, is it a boring ass news day? Sure seems like it. Did the Federal Reserve fire Trump yet? Did they cut interest rates yet? We want to know. Let us know in the comments. This dude Mike doesn't know how YouTube streams work. He thinks that we streamers pay the viewers. It's adorable. It's adorable. By the way, thanks to everybody who has pressed like, all 5 of you, if you're still even in the stream, as 6 are viewing and we have 5 likes. That's actually not too bad of a ratio there. So, cheers. Thanks to all of you. Just bear with me a minute so I can finish eating and I don't have to talk with my mouth full like some kind of savage. I'm not a savage. All right, I'm a bit of a savage. So we want to know what's going on this weekend. What do you got going on? I'm going to do some riding. And then I'm going to do some chilling. Like, that's my list. Ride the bike hard for a couple of hours. And then chill hard for even more hours. That sounds like a brilliant plan. And sometime in between those two things, consume a whole bunch of protein. And by the way, cherry, pineapple, and maple syrup together is awesome. Wow. That is a flavor explosion. So good. All right, almost done here. I'll talk space weather, earth weather. I'm eating cherry, pineapple, maple oatmeal. And it kicks fuck. There are 3 degrees of kick, if you were not aware. And this kicks fuck. The other 2 degrees are kicks dick and kicks ass in descending order. I'll use them all in a sentence. Today's breakfast kicked fuck. The Philadelphia Eagles kicked dick, even in training camp and exhibition games. And cycling kicks ass. Yeah. Kick ass, kick dick, and kick fuck. Those are the 3 levels of kick. So if something kicks ass more than standard kicks ass, maybe it kicks dick. And if it kicks ass even harder than a thing that kicks dick, it probably kicks fuck. So just so you know. Kyrie, I am eating exactly what I wanted. Like, I'm doing exactly what I wanted. I am exactly who I want to be. Like, I wouldn't trade places with anybody. Nobody at all. And that was exactly what I wanted. It's taken me decades to know what I want to eat and what I should eat, what I ought to eat, and the nutrition of pre-ride food and stuff. So yeah, that was exactly what I wanted. I bought a big can of rolled oats. I bought those jellies specifically for, or jellies, preserves, jams. I don't know what the difference is. It's fruit in a jar. So yeah, that was incredible. And I didn't consume any extra protein today. So it just, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And it'll be a very productive day. Today will cause me to get a little bit faster. But just so you know, folks, once you reach top form, when you're like on your top fitness, any gain that you can get from your top fitness is going to be really difficult to achieve, and it's going to be a very marginal gain. This is why we talk about marginal gains in cycling, because once you're in good fitness, if you change out something on your bike, it's not going to give you a huge gain, but it might give you a marginal gain. At the same time, if you apply a dozen marginal gains all at once, they will definitely equate to maximal gains. Maybe I'll show you my skin suit this morning as well, because these streams typically take just about enough time that maybe you'll get to see what it's like putting on a skin suit this morning. That should be cool, right? I can I can video that, except for the first part where I get the bottom part on, and I mean the most fun part is getting the top part on. That's where you have to like squeeze your body and try to get your arm in the sleeve while you dislocate your shoulder. It's super fun. It's great. It's a great way to get a workout in and suffer an injury before you've even touched a bicycle, trying to squeeze into a skin suit. Skin suits, they're so tight that you can't even stand up straight, so that there are less wrinkles like when you're on the bike in the time trial position. I have many skin suits at this point, and I may buy 5 new ones next year, because it's very hard to get a one-off skin suit, and as a time trial specialist, that's what I need. So I may contact one of their clothing manufacturers, and order 5 skin suits next year. It's a possibility. It's in the works. All right, so I'm going to switch to regular coffee, and then we're going to go up to the SNN studio, the Smash News Network, least busted name in news, so we can talk about news stories and space weather and earth weather, not necessarily in that order. Consumer tip, folks: if you don't want your junk to stick out of your boxers, just turn them so the slit is not directly in front, and then you will be less likely to do something on YouTube that causes your channel to be deleted. I mean, I'm just full of consumer tips, folks. I mean, I'm just full of it. Information. Yes. Oh, it's so fun having you here in the morning, YouTube types. I mean, it's so great. Like, you dudes are definitely some dudes. So congratulations on realizing the channel exists. I mean, it's just a delight. These live streams have been just uber popular. Some of them racking up over 3,000 views. Yeah, and it's excuse me. It's that cayenne pepper. All right, so it's time to get on the computer and talk about whatever I want to, which is, of course, the time that it always is. Some people don't like things that I say and would like me to be quiet. And they're like, shut up. And then I'm like, I'm going to say what I want, when I want, to who I want. This, after all, this is still the United States. So the Constitution indeed does still apply. Now, bear with me a minute here, folks. I just have to convert the convertible desk, because I'm getting excited about riding the bike, and I don't want to be sitting down. Who wants to do that? Not this guy. So I'm going to convert. Yeah, I've got a convertible desk. And by the way, you can pick up your own. Because below this video is indeed, in the description, a link to our Amazon storefront. So we'll crank the desk up here. We'll get on the PC. Should I start a companion stream? So So I've got a second stream that like shows better graphics. I guess the answer is no. We're just going to leave it like it is and close this mother out. Again, if you've got comments to leave, now would be a good time to leave them, as this stream will probably be another 15, 20 maybe. Depends on how exciting the news cycle is, and it has been less than exciting. It has been boring. All right, so a couple announcements, by the way. New podcast coming on a new channel. So there's a new channel called the Misidentified channel. Misidentified, M-I-S-S space identified. And it will be just for the ladies. Well, they'll be the guests talking about their relationship horror stories. So there should be no shortage of content for that channel. And now I get the lovely flavor of the pure black coffee. Oh, it's so good. Kyrie Spearman says, do you have a dog? If you don't, do you wish you have one? I do not have a dog. I love dogs, and the feeling is mutual. And yeah, I wish I did have one. But it's really not in the cards until I have some real estate. So that's probably coming next year. And yeah, that'll be a consideration. I suspect that I may actually decide to get a rescue greyhound, like a retired racer. Greyhounds and I get along very well because we have the same mentality in some ways. So yeah, we don't have a dog. We both, Smash Staff and I both love dogs. So it's coming. It's coming. All right. So just waiting for Microsoft Windows here to log in. Kyrie Spearman says, do I play sport? I would refer you to these. I am paid to ride bikes. So there's my employer. There is our YouTube channel. That's Dream Firms, Smash News Network, least busted name in news. We used Volt Cyclewear for that. And here is my race team, the Velo Shop. That is the local bike shop for whom I race. So non-race kit, race kit. Started bike racing in 1997 on the cross-country mountain bike, pro mountain bike by 1999. Missed the 2000 season because I was hit by a truck on November 12th, 1999, road debut 2001, and since then only racing road and or track. So I am a time trial specialist. If you see guys on those aero bars with the bikes with disc wheels and so on, that's my thing. I'm a TT specialist. I like to go real fast over specific distances. My favorite is technical courses that have a lot of changes in speed. So time trials are typically flat and straight, and those aren't my best time trials. My best time trials are short technical time trials that have lots of twists and turns and ups and downs and and require a lot of bike handling and stuff, because I'm not that strong. I'll freely admit it. I'm pretty damn fast, but I'm not that strong. And, I make up for some of my shortcomings in strength with skill and aerodynamics and bike handling and tactics and strategy and nutrition and stuff like that. So this is why you only see some of my power numbers. You'll only see some of my stats on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram if you need, if like that's basically my cycling training log is the Instagram page, instagram.com/smashomash. You'll find lots of stuff in there. You'll get motivated to ride your bike because you'll see all kinds of bike related posts and shares and things. So follow us there. Instagram is sort of the official fitness page of the Smash News Network, least busted name of news. We're going to go straight through. We're going to do regular news stories. We'll talk economics, general news, whatever you want to talk about. We'll talk about Earth weather, and we'll talk about the basis for this channel, how this channel came into existence, space weather. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look on Twitter, or you could call it Twitter X, I suppose. I'm just going to call it Twitter. I don't need to add syllables to my social media nonsense, and it's definitely nonsense. Social media, it's about as social as chaining yourself to the wall in the basement and consuming only canned peas and vodka for a month. See, because that would be antisocial. Hey there, Dennis. Kyrie says, do you play video games? I absolutely play video games. And if you'd like my picks, I only play 3 games. That's it, 3. And I'm going to give them in order from least to most favorite. I like them all. DayZ, it's like a post-apocalypse game playing. It's a zombie horror survival multiplayer game. Pretty cool. It's like a first-person shooter, but you spend most of your time just trying to not starve and things like that. You can play co-op. You can play, deathmatch style. It's just an open world, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's interesting. It's very hard. DayZ, maybe check that out. I also play Battlefield 3. That's my second favorite. But my favorite game of all time, and I'm talking of all games, not just video games, but my favorite game, period, is Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. It's free. It's open source. You can make your own maps. And that is one hell of a game. I mean, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, it takes place in a World War II setting, and basically I would say that it's like Super Mario shooter. So you're jumping around. It's very, very fast paced. The damage is kind of low because it's World War II weapons, but they're all objective missions. So there are some different game modes, but typically it's objective missions. So it's the Axis versus the Allies. You can play on the German team or the American team, and they're all objective missions. Like, for example, Gold Rush. The U.S. team has to drive a tank through the town, get in front of the bank. The tank blows the doors off the bank. Then you steal 2 crates of gold. You put them in a truck. You drive the truck out of town, and that's the mission. There are many different types of missions. Like, there are missions where you got to blow up anti-tank guns. There are missions where you got to destroy the rail gun, stuff like that. It's all World War II based. And some of them are even based on real maps. Like, there's one for Siwa Oasis. It's spectacular. It's free. It's open source. It's super fun. It's lean. It doesn't require a fast PC. So if you want to get started playing FPSs, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, again, it's my favorite game of any game ever. I used to run a scrim team where we played competitively. Actually, I ran 2 different scrim teams and 2 different gaming clans throughout the years. I've been server admin, message board admin, top brass in the clans in which I was in, because responsibility falls in my lap, folks. It's like some of us have more responsibility than we're even willing to take on. And it's like, the world needs leaders, okay? So if you're capable of being one, please do. Be a leader. Every crisis represents an opportunity to demonstrate leadership. So there's that. Should I switch to the chrome hat? I usually leave this one downstairs. It's reminding me to sew some things. So this is my hat that I wore when I was in the PA 1st 9th Squadron, and now there's a needle in one of these things, I think. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't lose it. That would be bad. I ain't got any grenades either. You gotta hang grenades from your hat. That makes you look cool. All right, so I'm just trying to bring up the chat here. I want to have it on the PC so that, you know, so I can respond by typing. That's way better. And then I can just leave this thing here and just not really worry about it. That's good. I got the pop-out chat going. Nice. This over a little bit. There we are. Very good, very good. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is check Twitter trending. See what's going on there, as if it's going to be objective in any way. It's just going to have a bunch of nonsense from sycophants, typically, is what you see on Twitter. It is trash. Trashy, trashy, trash. Pop out chat. There we are. Now we are good. That is fantastic. I'm just going to switch my screens around. I'll just leave that there. That's fine. All right. So, on Twitter trending, by the way, to find that, you click Explore, and then you click Trending, and then you see a bunch of crap that's totally uninteresting because the algorithms on Twitter are completely broken. They're worse than they were before the Elon Musk takeover. All Elon Musk did when he took over Twitter is said, I'm going to buy Twitter and use it as my personal megaphone. That's all. He didn't stop censorship on it. Censorship 100% continues. There are accounts that are outright banned. It's not a free speech platform. It just doesn't shut down idiotic speech. So it's full of like medical disinformation, misinformation. It's full of science disinformation and misinformation. It's shite. It's actually worse than Meta and YouTube. The censorship on Twitter is worse than, well, it might not be worse than Facebook, but overall, it's worse than Meta and it's worse than YouTube. YouTube is much less censored than Twitter. Twitter sucks. By the way, make sure you follow us on Twitter at x.com/smashomash. And don't get confused about the branding. X is definitely not a brand, so I'm just going to keep calling it Twitter, since a letter cannot be a brand. It's like not within the definition of what a brand can be. Hey, Dennis, it must be early for you because you've already said good morning. Oh, maybe not. Good morning, Dennis. All right, so The Senior kicks off in theaters September 19th. Were you aware? The Senior. You want to go see that in theaters? I've never heard of it. It's probably about some guy who's 70 years old who's like, you're gonna shoot my dog? Now you're gonna die, or something like that. Trending. Ooh, Cracker Barrel's trending. The food industry and Cracker Barrel. UFC Shanghai's trending. Whoa. Bolton's trending. Maybe there's a new war to start today, huh? John Bolton. America's favorite warmonger, John Bolton, is in trending. Former assistant to the president for national security, now enemy of both the left and the right. Yeah, John Bolton. What a dude. How is he not retired? Why doesn't he just retire and like shave his mustache, grow a beard, go full Amish, and like go into hiding where nobody can identify you as a warmonger piece of crap? John Bolton never saw a war he didn't like. Mariah. What? Mariah's trending. What happened with Mariah? She's one of my favorite singers of ever. People who didn't get to experience Mariah's entire career, please stop embarrassing the younger generation and go educate yourself on pop culture before posting. Yeah. I mean, I still remember when Someday came out. You know, Mariah's first, I think that might have been her first number one. Someday, like, that was, you know, One you gave away will be the only one you're wishing for. That one, oh, it's killer. I mean, when she came out, people were like, oh, like some of the white supremacists that I knew back then, they're like, oh, she's half black, but I still think she's hot. And then at age like 20, she marries the president of Sony Records. Great move, Mariah. Real strategic. Incidentally, that would change things. But then she would release her own solo debut, her own self-made album, Butterfly, and become the baller that she is today. She stopped relying on others, and she is. She's a legend. Here's the video for Fantasy, featuring raps by Old Dirty Bastard. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have turned it around. I should do it this way. This is better. I mean, that is an awesome video. When you walk by every night, talking sweet and looking fine, I get kind of hectic inside. Mariah, I love pop music, by the way, and that's why our new band is going to play 20% pop covers. Yeah, pop covers done by a metal band. It's true. It's true. You think you know, but you have no idea. There are layers. There are layers, folks, that you haven't seen. So, yeah, I don't know why Mariah is trending. I don't know why any of this is ever trending, because when you look at the posts on X, you just don't know. As far as news goes, trending in business and finance, we have Linnea. Does anybody know what that is? Some kind of Ethereum crypto nonsense? Linnea. Oh, brother. Maybe it's a new crypto launch, because that's just what we need when it comes to pyramid schemes, is more pyramid schemes. Has anybody ever recommended selling a crypto? Or are they just hodling at all times? Do they know anything about taking profits? Like the hodlers who are like, don't trade stonks. Hodl Bitcoin, hodl Ethereum. Like what happened with that? Stonks? Shit was hilarious. Even Peter Schiff had to mention stonks, because for some reason they started calling them stonks. Like somebody misspelled stocks or something. So it just caught on. The same way own with a P did in World of Warcraft, because like an admin typed PWNED or something. So now owned is spelled with a P sometimes. That means like really owned. And by the way, if you see the word owned spelled with a P, it's not pronounced pwned. It's still pronounced owned. Don't get owned by a pronunciation of the word owned. California's been in the news, of course, because there's trouble in paradise. The leftist enclave, the capital of the left coast, California, land of the fruits and nuts, a place so bonkers that even Smash staff wanted to evacuate and move to Pennsylvania. So I imported her back in 2015. Yeah, she's been here since March of 2015, folks. Over 10 years now in Pennsylvania. And she's not exactly planning on going back to California anytime soon. Californians, California, what a mess. Land of the fruits and nuts. This is so uninteresting here on Twitter trending, so we're just going to leave that entirely and head to some other news stories. Here comes some more headlines for you, folks. And if you've got news stories you'd like me to comment on, leave a super chat, and then I'm guaranteed to do it. Look at that. We've got more likes than viewers. How you like them apples? That means that's your cue to press the share button. Yeah, press that share button. It looks like a little arrow kind of pointing to the right. All right, let's see what we have here. Ghislaine Maxwell says father was intelligence asset. Well, that's interesting. Keep the business in the family, folks. If somebody's an intelligence asset, better do a thing. All right, so I may be a little late getting on the bike, but it's kind of cool out. So by 9 o'clock, we'll have about 70-degree temperatures here in Lehigh Valley, and that is going to be bellissima. All right, what else do we have? Powell dovish with panic buying across risk assets, allegedly. I don't know anything else about it. I don't care. Rent in Seattle costs $91,000 a year. $91,000 a year. What is that per month, you ask? That would be $7,600 per month, roughly. $7,583.33. That is $7,500 a month for rent? We thought our rent was bonkers. That's a little more than we pay. Whew. Wow. HHS rolls out MAHA. Make America hemorrhoidal again. Oh, Make America Healthy Again is what it stands for. Please let us know in the comments if RFK has stopped the imaginary phenomenon known as chemtrails yet. We want to know the minute that it happens so we can go back outside again. China failed to disclose key details about China-based engineers in the U.S. defense work. Oh, what a surprise. Microsoft with security problems? No. Windows is perfect. I mean, what could you possibly complain about with that? So Kyrie Spearman says, what is your favorite rock band? That is a hell of a question. I really don't know. Lucifer? The Cardigans? I don't know. It varies every day. I like so many bands and so many different kinds of music. Maybe Slayer? Like, does Slayer count as a rock band? I think heavy metal is part of rock, right? You've got rock and you've got heavy metal mixed in there. So maybe Slayer? I don't know. They're like, my tastes are, shall we say, eclectic. All right, what else do we have here? Seems like some pretty boring stories. Let's see what's going on with financial news. Here are some headlines from CNBC.com. Oh, great. Now we're publicizing, now we're making public companies. U.S. government takes 10% stake in Intel. What? What? So now my tax dollars are investing in stock? Is that what's going on? Because that means it's time to hire an accountant and make sure that every penny is not paid in stock and is just invested into our own businesses instead. What is this nonsense? Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the U.S. government has taken a 10% stake in Intel. What? How? Why? With what funds? SoftBank made a $2 billion investment. Wow. The U.S. government is now purchasing stock. Wow. If you haven't seen some crony capitalism going on, congratulations. What the hell is this? This sounds like one of the most idiotic ideas I've seen yet. And I've seen a lot of them since 2001. Intel, the only company capable of making advanced chips on U.S. soil, said in a press release that the government made an $8.9 billion investment in Intel common stock. purchasing 433.3 million shares at a price of $20.47 per share, giving it a 10% stake in the company. Intel noted that the price the government paid was a discount to the current market price. Of the total, $5.7 billion of the government funds will come from grants under the CHIPS Act that had been awarded but not paid, and $3.2 billion will come from separate government awards under a program to make secure chips. Wow, your chips are going to be so secure now, folks. Maybe you'll even run them on an operating system that's secure, like Linux, and not Microsoft, and not Apple junkware. Planned obsolescence junkware. Like, nobody should run them. We should just all run nothing but open source OSs and just get operating systems out of the marketplace entirely. Oh my gosh. The United States paid nothing for these shares, and the shares are now valued at approximately $11 billion, President Trump wrote in a post on Truth Social. This is a great deal for America and a great deal for Intel. Yeah, the government paid nothing for them. The money, it just came out of thin air. It didn't add money to the supply. No, it's magic. It's magic. The U.S. government paid nothing for them. Economic illiteracy. Find a cure. Where do you even start? How do you even compose a coherent argument against somebody that thinks contrails are geoengineering? How do you come up with a coherent argument with somebody who thinks the galaxy is dangerous? How do you come up with a coherent argument with somebody that thinks tariffs benefit this consumer-driven economy? What the hell? Later, Dirk, have fun. Don't have too much fun. People go to mental institutions for that. And in Australia, definitely don't go to a mental institution because that country is jacked. You should totally emigrate to the US. Google shares rise on report of Apple using Gemini for Siri. Oh man, the pioneers in AI are just adorable. The pioneers in AI are producing nothing but II and NI. Imaginary intelligence and not intelligence. Next, we're going to talk weather. As I shift gears from stuff that makes me less pissed off to stuff that makes me more pissed off to stuff that makes me less pissed off. That's pretty good, right? And what do we have? Let's bring up the radar map first. I guess I'll show you, Rubes, the radar map. Is that cool? Well, it's a dictatorship, so it doesn't really matter. So there you go. There's your U.S. map. We've got some pretty heavy weather there moving across Florida. Looks like it's going to be a rainy day in Florida. And those systems are looking like they're pretty stagnant. So let's get an idea of where they're moving here by looking at the water vapor map. That's how you clear things up, folks. There are the last 50 frames from the GOES interactive weather satellite. So if you look up in the sky and you're like, how is it doing that? Look at some more data and you too can understand how weather works. So there's our water vapor map. You can see there's dry massive air right here, which is acting as a blocking feature. So the jet stream is coming down and it's kind of colliding with that. You can see it's pushing it a little bit because this air up here is colder, which also makes it more massive. So like this air here is more massive than this air here because it is colder. Meanwhile, down here, we've got massive amounts of convection. So Florida is clearly moist. As you can see, rapid evaporation there happening both over the water and the land. And of course, that is very warm water. So here's our nullschool.net map. Those are surface winds as that nothing burger hurricane moves up toward Labrador. And here is the sea surface temperature map. And you'll see the water is like 85 degrees. So we'll just do waves. We'll do ocean, waves, and sea surface temperature. So, it's like 90 degrees. The Gulf is really hot. So this is a hotbed right here. So this is the kind of scenario where you could definitely see some major convective systems forming. So don't be surprised to see a system get in here and get beefed up, because look at this water here. This water is It is 88.3 degrees. So that is some warm Gulf water indeed. And right here you got like almost 89 degree water there. So yeah, lots of evaporation happening there. And that's about it as far as weather goes. I mean, if anybody has any requests, Kyrie Spearman says, what is my favorite country? My favorite country is categorically the U.S., and it's not even close. There are some other cool countries out there. I mean, I got a list of places that I'd be willing to move to, and it's a very small list. Switzerland being one of those. Beyond that, only other places in the U.S. I mean, I would consider Switzerland. I mean, if I was just gonna bug out and say I'm done with this crap, Switzerland would be the place I would move to, because there are so many features of Switzerland that I like, such as not being part of the European Union, neutrality throughout a lot of idiotic things happening throughout the years, and their policy on various things, their policy on the military, and their policy on disaster preparedness, their policy on military preparedness. Switzerland is very attractive to me, and no place else is attractive at all. So yeah, Switzerland, the mountains, the Alps. Also, it's the home of Fabian Cancellara, one of my favorite cyclists of all time. So yeah, I probably would never move out of the U.S. Because it's so much better than every place else that it's not even in the same. It's not even like appropriate to compare the U.S. to other countries. And even when you have extremely ineffective and indeed incompetent leadership in place in the U.S., as we do in both the legislature and the executive branch and the judicial branch for decades, the U.S. is still so good, and the Constitution is still so self-enforced by the citizenry, that it's still not even close. So if you're in some other country besides the U.S., there's plenty of room, okay? It's definitely not overpopulated. You can start a frontier town all over the place. There are resources upon resources upon resources upon resources available. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking the planet's overpopulated. It's definitely not. Nowhere near it. So there's that. And oh man, I got a text. Bear with me a minute. All right, so let's see. I showed you Earth weather. I showed you some news stories, which are so boring. Now we shall talk about the weather in space. Uh-oh, we've got some sights down. All right, first let's talk cosmic ray flux. Our regular viewers will be well aware that cosmic ray flux varies inversely with solar activity. Now, this is the OLU neutron monitor. And if you don't know what cosmic rays are mostly hydrogen nuclei. They're similar to the solar wind. Okay, so cosmic rays, think of them like little bullets, single protons that are just blasting through space at a significant fraction of light speed. When they get to something and they bump into it, they have a tendency to blast off. Sometimes they'll even blast off a neutron. But they have a tendency to ionize the particles that they smash into, which creates a particle shower. And there's an ion storm that happens there, and there are secondary particles that are sent off, muons and things. It creates a particle shower, and we detect the products of these collisions, and that's what a neutron monitor does. These are inversely proportional to sunspot cycles. So when you see a high amount of cosmic ray flux like we did here in 2020 and 2009 and 2010, which, by the way, this right here in 2009 and 2010, that is the highest cosmic ray flux ever measured, going all the way back to the 1950s. All right. So this is solar minimum. Solar maximum is down here. And you can see we're just coming off of solar maximum. We are at the lowest levels of cosmic ray flux since about 2004. So we're at an over 20-year low of cosmic rays. Just in case anybody's lying to you about space weather and telling you energy from space is increasing. It definitely isn't. As the solar cycle ramps down and cosmic ray flux is at a 20-year low, nobody's going to be able to accurately tell you that energy from space is increasing. That is objectively false. So, I mean, I don't know what energy. And by the way, when somebody just says energy, that's meaningless. What energy? You mean the potential energy? The potential energy that is in this coffee cup as I raise it up? Potential energy? Do you mean the kinetic energy that's in it as I move it? Do you mean the heat energy that's in here? Do you mean like the energy of my voice? Do you mean like the energy of metabolism? Like what energy? You can't just say energy. Like have units. Like what energy? That you can't. When you hear a science illiterate talk, it's hey, coming from Dubai. Thanks for leaving a comment. Cheers. Peace be with you as well. Saif Rashash. Thanks for commenting. Don't forget to press subscribe. You may miss the videos if you don't. And yeah, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. So cosmic ray flux, 20-year low. Let's look at filaments. We're going to look at the El Teide, Spain, a ground-based hydrogen alpha observatory. There it is. Oh, yes. So that's what's going on with filaments. Pardon the guerrilla style filming, but this is just easier. And for some reason, the algorithm provides us with less views. Like, I don't know, less recommendations. So check it out. We've got a lot of large filaments facing the Earth. This huge one up here. I mean, many of these could become Earth-directed coronal mass ejections. So fingers crossed for that. Let's hope they do. Now, Earth is in a South Pole-oriented magnetic sector. I'll just show you the heliosphere magnetism real quick. There is our top view ecliptic plane field plot. And if you follow us on Twitter, you would have already seen this because I posted this early this morning. So Earth is in a South Pole-oriented sector, as you see here. We do see a little volatility, so there may be some action coming in that eastern limb. Don't be surprised to see a sunspot or other active region rising soon, or there could be some coronal hole migration happening. So there's that. So there's that. For some reason, our CME and little spirals not showing up here, so I'm just going to bring up the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard real quick. Actually, let's take a look at the GOES 16 SUVI because we have a massive prominence here in the northwestern limb of the closest star. So if you're a stargazer, make sure you learn about the closest star because it is the most exciting and interesting one to gaze upon. I mean, look, it's the only one that really is particularly involved with your fate. So check out that prominence. Another great prominence here. So just in the past week, we've had some really spectacular solar prominences. And if you want to make yourself some custom videos about that, just head to helioviewer.org. You can make just the most beautiful videos of that closest star. Sunspot number is currently at about 72, 71, 72 sunspots, something like that. There's a sunspot number from the Royal Observatory of Belgium. Here is our radio flux data. Radio flux at about 120 solar flux units. There it is. That is the past year. That is from solon.info/solar, if you'd like to check that out. solon.info/solar. Solar wind is nominal. Only about 1.5 protons per cubic centimeter for the density. Solar wind velocity about 457 kilometers per second. Oh, we had a nice M-class flare at some point. So let's take a look at that. I'll bring it up on the SDO animations here. And we'll show you that flare and where it came from. It occurred at approximately 1850 Universal Time yesterday on August 22nd. And it did indeed come from behind the eastern limb. So there you go. There's a forecast done in real time for you. I told you that because I know how to interpret the magnetic data, because I understand how magnets actually work. And let's bring it down one more size here. Here we are. And so that flare came from right over here. So nice M-class flare there. There's most assuredly a sunspot about to rise. So we are expecting a little increase in the sunspot number here, coming soon to a star near you. So yeah, that's about it, folks. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to see the skin suit. Maybe I'll shove myself into that before ending this stream. But there'll be video of me anyway, because we're going to do a little bit of photo and video shooting today. And yeah, so I guess I'll just leave out the skin suit for now. You'll definitely get a load of it at a later point, because it's going to go damn fast on September 1st. I'm going to put in the fastest non-donut adjusted time. So I'm going to leave the stream running here for just a minute. I'm going to step aside. If you've got comments, make sure you leave. I'm going to be back without the mute button pressed, and I'm going to bid you farewell and so on. So just bear with me a minute here. I'm just going to press mute, and I will be right back. Just kidding, folks. I know I was muted. Anyway, it's time to close this thing out. If you're watching the video in syndication, please don't forget to leave a comment. We do read all comments. If you're new, press subscribe. If you haven't pressed like, please press like. We've got 7 viewers and 9 likes. That's a pretty good ratio. And in any case, thanks for tuning in, folks. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. Smash on Mash, signing off from the Smash News Network, least busted name of news. And until next time, probably tomorrow morning, may that solar wind be at your back.